Silent Breath recently released about 2 weeks ago. It's one of the first body cam horror games that actually came out. We have been seeing a lot of these games be teased recently, leaving a lot of people very skeptical about whether or not these games are actually good or just visually appealing. In this video I will do a quick review for Silent Breath, spoiler free, so you can decide whether you should buy it or not. We will go over the graphics, gameplay, then a summarized review. So the game is really good looking and it is made on the new Unreal Engine 5, taking full advantage of the body cam aesthetic / simulation filter. It makes it so that the distorted body cam footage looks like it would be something out of real life. The overall environment was pretty nice, nothing too insane, but enough to make the game a little more eerie. Throughout the game you will encounter various monsters that I noticed are assets grabbed from Unreal Engine 5. Maybe not all of them, but I 100% noticed the same girl from Demonologist. So the actual environment is very beautiful, but in terms of the NPCs and monsters, it's pretty cheap. But of course, coming from an indie game, I really wasn't expecting some Resident Evil iconic characters. What I was really looking forward to was the gameplay. Does the gameplay suffice paying $10? The game is basically a Slender Man ripoff. Sorry, but you are literally looking for papers throughout the woods and the number pops up on your screen just as they do in Slender Man. But it is still pretty fun, just like Slender Man is. The whole objective of the game is to go through a forest and find 5 dead bodies and collect the missing posters located on top of each one. Sounds easy enough, but the catch is you can't make a sound, hence the name Silent Breath. The game has a feature that picks up your mic audio so that if you do scream, you take damage in the game and eventually die. The game does its absolute best to get you to react and make a sound as you traverse through the dark woods. If you want to higher or lower your mic sensitivity, you can. You can make it so that it doesn't trigger till you actually do a loud scream, or so that it triggers a little easier to where you can't even gasp, which is how I prefer it. Overall, I thought the game did a good job trying to scare you, especially in the first run through. The only thing is that I found it a bit too easy to beat. I almost feel like there should have been more than one night or just something to encourage you to keep going. It does seem like they are alluding to there being an Easter egg because it does tell you to try to break the cycle. As of now, I have no idea whether that is actually a thing, if they do actually have an Easter egg or not, but it does seem like there might be something there. If anyone has discovered it already, please let me know down below, and I will definitely make a video about that. But like many other horror games, once you go through the scares the first time, the magic is kinda gone, at least for me. I do feel like they were getting me pretty good, and I was definitely holding my breath a lot, super tensed up, not knowing what was gonna come next. I feel like once you've played the game or watched somebody else play the game, it does lose its magic like I said. I think this game is definitely a good one to stream, as the chat can actually have an influence on the gameplay, since they can basically add their own jump scares to try to get you to laugh or to make a noise. Of course, obviously you're not talking to the streams as much, but to try to scare your favorite streamer and make them lose sounds like a good time. I definitely will plan on going back to stream the game some more. If you want to tune into those, make sure to subscribe. We are on the road to 10k subscribers, so appreciate you all who helped me on my journey. The gameplay isn't very complicated like I said, you are literally just walking through the woods and trying to pick up papers. You can turn on and off your flashlight and that's about it. But sometimes simplicity is also the best. You don't need to make things over complex for a good horror game. Look at Outlast. And of course there is also the microphone detection. I'm purposely leaving out details about the monsters and scares so that if you decide to try out the game you can experience them for yourself for the first time. Some of them have their own ways to avoid them and you'll learn as you go. Since the game is pretty short and you don't need to play much to get the overall experience, if you wanted to check it out for free, you can buy it on Steam and then refund it within the 2-hour window. I beat the game in about 40 minutes, so you can definitely get a good feel within that 2-hour window. I will say though, this is an indie team, so any support they get, I'm sure will go to making other games. So if you found this game fun at all and want to see them make future games with a higher budget, maybe don't refund it. Overall, I would give this game about a 6.5 out of 10. It was aight, especially for being only $10. If it was free, I would bump it up to about a 7.5, but if it was more expensive, it would go to less than a 5, mainly because it is too short. There weren't too many bugs that I noticed really at all, so the game was an overall smooth experience that was quite intense and enjoyable to play on stream. As I mentioned, my main issue was the game being too short and being arguably too easy. At least for me, but I do know that I play more horror games than the average person, so I understand that some people are more easily scared or might struggle a bit to get through it, which who doesn't love those experiences? I think if there was a deeper story and they added more quality to the monsters, the game would take a huge jump. Like when you think back to Slender Man, it was literally just one character, but that game was traumatizing. Just the fear of him always staring at you and trying to avoid his anonymous grasp. Some of the monsters do kind of have their own character to them, but I kind of wish it was more specific than that. For example, there is a Siren Head, and it would be cool if he was kind of wandering around all the time, but he just pops in and once you avoid him, he just disappears. I wouldn't be surprised if the game gets future updates, but for now, it is what it is. There are many body cam games like this that have been teased. One in particular is Paranormal Tales, which I am still looking forward to. Hopefully this game is legit and isn't some scam like the day before. I also recently checked out Demonsomnia, which is another cool looking game but a buggy mess. It is still in super early stages, but it isn't good right now. You can check out that video on my channel as well as the game game demo as it is free on Steam. Make sure to subscribe to stay updated on games like this. Also make sure you check out the member link in the description. Appreciate all my YouTube members. You will get your name at the end of every video, a Discord role, and priority to join my lobbies whenever I go live. Appreciate you all. Till next time. Love ya. See ya.